Hi, I'm Garrett. Today we're going to take this simple geometric image and turn it into something cool. Like this. Right here, right now on 3D Print Farm. So today's object is based on a design by artist Dirk Schreckenbach. Hopefully you can get some ideas from this type of object to create your own and possibly put them in a craft fair somewhere, or maybe sell them on Facebook Marketplace, or maybe you have an Etsy store that you want to sell these on. Hopefully this will spark some ideas and help you out. Well, how did I create this much, you ask? Well, it all starts with a program called Luban. Luban is a generative design software that is not only for 3D printers, but for lasers, and also you folks out there with CNC machines. I'm not going to cover all the features here, but as you can see, it's able to create lithophanes. Some of the things that you're able to do in the photo magic section are really cool. You know, generate boxes, cookie cutters. The one that we're going to be covering today is this layering method. And you're able to turn a photo into a multi-layered object, and you can do so with just a couple of clicks. It is super cool, and I'm really super excited to show you how this is done. Okay guys, I started up Luban, and again, the method we're going to cover today is called layering. This image that we're going to use today was created by artist Dirk Schreckenbach. I found this piece over on one of the Facebook forums for Luban, and I reached out to Dirk, and he graciously allowed me to show you how to put this awesome looking piece together. So let's go back to Luban. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to File, scroll all the way down to Create, and then go to the last option here, which is Photo Magic. Let's click on Photo Magic. Now your method up here may not be exactly like mine, because the cool thing about Luban is it will default to the last method that you used. In fact, all of the settings in here will default to the last setting that you used for the last time you were in the program. But again, we're just focusing on layering today. So what I need to do is I need to go out there and grab Dirk's image. I placed it on the desktop, and there it is. And we're going to give Luban a few seconds to pull the image in, and voila. As you can see, I have got this really cool image down here. And as you can see, there's looks like three layers, and they are indicated by like an every other color. You know, you've got this light tan and then kind of an orangey looking color here. So currently, you can see that the number of layers are set to 3. Now you can adjust this. We're going to choose 4 today, because this is kind of like the style that we're going to look at. Now you're probably asking yourself, now wait a minute, Garrett, you pulled in this really cool starburst hearts, but why is there a triangle around it? Great question. Well, if you look down here, there is a section for frame shape. Now initially yours might not have a frame, and as you'll see here, there's the image that we looked at, but this section here actually allows you to frame your object with a different geometric shape. So here's your choices: triangle, rectangle, square. In fact, let's try, let's do a hexagon. Let's do a hexagon, and as you can see, now boom, you've got a hexagon shape that is embedded into this stacked image here. And so now let's go to, we can do a circle, kind of give you a different flair or flavor. And again, all these settings are totally adjustable, so you're going to get a little bit different things. Now the circle looks kind of cool, but we're going to bounce back to triangle. Now we're going to kind of go kind of from the bottom up of these settings. And these are pretty intuitive here. So if you want round corners, let's say, on your object, what it will do is it'll give you round corners on your frame shape, which is is set to triangle. So I'm going to go no on the round corners. The clipping part, again, as you can see here, it's going to clip all of the hearts. So now you have this nice framed image. But ours is just a little bit different. So I'm going to click no on that. Now, if you want to have a solid base, and this is very intuitive, if you click solid base here, this gives you a solid base on the back, or that last layer here. Remember, we're dealing with 4 layers. 1, 2, 3, 4. That last layer is going to be solid. Here's a real cool feature of Luban too, is you can go up here to Object. You see these 2 functions here, E for explode and R for restore. So if you want to explode your object, just to kind of get an idea of what the each layer looks like, I hold the E down, the letter E on my keyboard, and as you can see, the layers are splitting apart. Now, right now, I'm just holding my left mouse button in and moving my mouse around. I use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. And if I want to restore it back to the way it was before, I just hold the R key down. Now, I could just click the R key like this, and it'll go down 1 step at a time. But I am just going to hold the R key down, and as you can see, it all goes back together like that. So this next section is expansion, and as you can see, there's a negative number in there. Now watch what happens if I change this negative number, let's say from negative 90 to, I don't know, negative 10, and press the enter key. It's real important that you press the enter key after you add any numbers to any of the fields here. Give it a second. And as you can see, the expansion has kind of, I guess, converged. So it looks a little different. I'm going to turn my solid base off again. So you get a little bit different look there. Let's say if we put the number 0 in there, you'll notice that the star, or the heart-shaped starburst, got a little larger. So now let's go all the way back to where we were before, which is negative 90, to get us back to where we were before. There we go. All right. Now, you can adjust this layer thickness. The layer thickness really doesn't really give you much, other than just makes these layers a little bit thicker. As you can see, I adjusted that to a 5, and the layers got a little bit thicker. I mean, you can see I can adjust this to maybe 10. And all you're going to get out of it is it's going to give you thicker layers. Now, in an SVG file, that, as you know, that's really not going to really matter when you bring it over into the laser. But it does give you kind of a good idea of what the object is going to look like once you get it all set up. The layer offset is the easiest way to explain the layer offset here is by looking at one of these hearts. As you can see, the area that is separated between each layer is the offset. So currently I have it set to 5. Now if I set it down to a 1, keep your eye on one of these hearts here. Look at this heart here. As you can see, it's just kind of went away. Everything kind of stacked on top of itself, and the triangle went away. And that was just by changing just a single number. Let me go up to a 2 here, and now that looks really bizarre. Let me go to a 3. There we go. All right, let's change it back to a 4. I like that the best. Yeah, as you can see, the offset is starting to expand the higher the number. Actually, 5 was good too, and that's entirely up to you guys. It depends on how much light that you want to see between each of the layers. And again, you can go through and play with these numbers. You can increase the number of layers. You would actually get a different look. So if I bump this up to a 5, you get a little bit different look. If I increase it up even to a 6, you get a little bit different look. And again, you can go through here and you can physically see all of the different layers, count all the different layers in here. And if you went in here and painted all these different colors, you would probably get a really, really cool looking object by changing some things around. But again, we are going to create the triangle that we showed at the beginning of the video, and that particular one only had 4 layers. And so we are going to go with the 4 layers like that. Now, from this point, all I need to do is click Save Model. When I click Save Model, it opens up a window, and it's a little counterintuitive here. What I would suggest that you do is create a folder on your desktop, because right now it's asking for a folder. I created a Luban folder on my desktop, so I basically click it and click Select Folder, and the box goes away, and I'm thinking, well, what the heck happened to it? Well, it actually did save this model. And let me show you here out on my desktop. There's the Luban folder, and each of these are dated here. And as you can see, this one's done at 5:05 this afternoon. This is the one we're going to open up here. And check this out. This is really cool. This is what we talked about before, Luban being so versatile. Is you have the DXF files. So if you have a CNC router, if you want to use your CNC router, the DXF files are located in here. You have your SHP files, you have your STLs, so if you want to print these things out on a 3D printer, you're welcome to as well. Or you can also actually set them up on an SVG file. Now, you're probably telling yourself, now wait a minute, Garrett, it looks like you did make a mistake, because there are only 3 layers in there, and if you said that, you win the prize. Ding, ding, ding. I screwed up and did not add that extra layer in there. There we go. That's better. All right, I'm glad you guys caught me on that. So I'm going to go back here and save it to the Luban folder, just like that. All right. So yeah, now if you don't believe me, we'll go back here, look into Luban real quick, and 506. No harm, no foul. There are the 4 layers that we're going to deal with. Okay, I've got Adobe Illustrator opened up here. I am going to go to Open, and I'm going to go to Luban here. I'm going to pick the SVG files we did earlier. The layer 1_1 is actually the back layer of the object. Let me shrink this guy down so you can see it. So what the idea is that we are wanting to get rid of, want to get rid of all this under here. We want to get rid of these hearts here. The easiest way to do this in Adobe Illustrator is go to this tool, which is your direct selection tool. Click it, start at the bottom here, go up, make a selection around the object like this. This is going to select the points down toward the bottom. I click my delete key. Okay, now I have an empty line at the bottom of my SVG. No problem. I go up to my pen tool, click my pen tool, go over here and click one of the anchor points. As I float over it, its anchor point's going to highlight. I click once, let go of my mouse, and drag it all the way over until I get to my other anchor point, and click my pen tool one more time, and as you can see, it is now all together. So I'm going to do that for the other 3, and from here all you really need to do is click Save. I'm not going to close this right now. I'm just going to go in here and open the other files, and as you can see, this can go pretty darn quick by just, again, selecting the direct selection tool. Start at the bottom here, kind of grab all that, click the delete key, grab your pen tool, anchor, anchor, Done. Save. Open. Layer 3. And as you can see, you're starting to see more light through these images here. So I'm going to shrink this down so I can see it. Grab my direct selection tool and go like this. Delete. Pen tool. So one of the cool things about creating your own unique piece of art is take all of the slices or all of the separate images, pull them into something like Illustrator or Photoshop or Inkscape or whatever you choose to use. I'm using Illustrator here, and go through and select each of the layers and, you know, turn them different colors. I mean, that's kind of the cool thing about this, is you can go through and let's see, I'm going to take this top layer, I'm going to change it to black. Let's see, that changes everything to black. So let me go through and select this, turn that purple, and maybe this, turn that green, and then maybe select that black back there and turn it red. So again, let's see, there's another color in here that I'm missing. There's two greens in there. Maybe, nope, maybe it's this one. That's it, yellow, there we go. So now, as you can see, you can mix and match any of the colors you want. The ones that we had initially for this design is I had this color was black, and the background color was red, and then I believe this one was orange, and I think the yellow is how I had it set. Or they may have been switched. Anyway, that looks really kind of cool. Anyway, it looks almost like a playing card. I mean, you could swap colors around, and I think this is a really good idea before you actually go in and paint each of your layers so you can make it unique to you. Okay, now that we have our SVGs like we want them, I'm going to go over here to the Glowforge app, and I'm going to pull in those designs. So I'm going to upload my SVG. I've already got it set up here. I'm going to get the bottom layer first. And as you're going to see, it's going to come in here like really, really big. And that is by design, because I want to show you how easy it is to shrink this SVG down. So all you got to do is go down here and click on the little ruler. And as you can see, the scale of this image is 23.5 inches by 20.4 inches high. So I'm going to make this like a little smaller than that. I'm going to put a 6 in here. And since I've got this little aspect ratio is set, it is locked, that means it is going to automatically shrink my height to the proper height. If I put, let's say, a 6 in here and I click enter, it automatically changes that to 5.205 inches. So it's the perfect size. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to put it on your bed here, and what I try to do is I try to make it so I use the least amount of wood, because a lot of this is going to be waste. So what I try to do is try to place the objects in here where I have the least amount of waste. Okay, we've set our medium draft board up in the Glowforge. The Glowforge has went through and scanned to make sure that I'm using the correct material, because it uses this QR code. And what's really cool is this draft board, or any of the wood that you get from Glowforge, is masked actually on both sides. So I've got my images set up correctly in here. So the next thing I need to do is just click the print button. Now it's going to go through and prepare my print. You can hear it in the background there. Alright, as you can see, it's going to take 10 minutes and 59 seconds to go through and cut each of these images out on the draft board. So, all I need to do is go over here to the Glowforge.
Yourself free. This is not a delusion, the start of a vision for the world to see. You got to find your light. You got to find your light. Everything will feel right. You got to find your light. Not a temptation, it's the way it should be. Use your imagination.
Once again, thanks for joining us here on 3D Print Farm. If you have any questions whatsoever about the Glowforge, today's video, 3D printing in general, please drop them in the comments below and I would be glad to answer them. And hey, would you like to save up to $500 on your very own Glowforge? Well, make sure and check out my discount link in the description below where you can save up to $500 on your very own Glowforge. Now, I hope to be bringing some more Glowforge-centric videos in the future, so make sure and hit that like and subscribe button on the 3D Print Farm. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, and we'll see you again next time on 3D Print Farm. Bye now. Thanks again for joining us here on 3D Print Farm. Once again, thanks for joining us here on 3D Print Farm. If you have any and all questions, please drop them in the comments below. Hot Rod over here will be glad to answer. No, just kidding. Hot Rod over here will be glad to answer them.